Okay, like a little bit jaded. What I have here is the Hermit in the reverse. So this is the person that tends to things, okay? This is the person that looks out for everybody, and this is the person that sees everything. They might not verbalize everything that they see. They might not share their observations, but they see everything. When it's in the reverse position, it's sort of like seeing things that people are trying to hide from you. You know, like the less than admirable traits, the selfishness, the shadiness, the things that people think it's like getting one over on you. You see it all and you don't call people out on it because you're not a confrontational person. And I also feel like you're not a confrontational sign, but I also feel like you do believe in this sense of divine justice, you know, that if they're going to be like that, one day they're going to get what's coming to them. And so you kind of leave it alone. And what I feel like what I feel is really happening is that you stand by your truth and you hang on to your truth, but you feel little by little that other people are not doing the same thing. So is it fair for me to do what's right when other people are never doing what's right and they keep advancing? Okay, not you're questioning whether or not divine justice exists. You're questioning whether or not people will get what's due to them, and you're questioning whether or not there is somebody watching out and keeping score and is going to try to rectify the situation. So like, is there a higher power out there that is going to, you know, dish out justice in the end? At the end of our lives, you know, are these people going to get away with their actions? At the end of our lives, you know, will there be some type of a recognition for the things that other people have done, for the things that I have done? So I feel like there's some big questions that you're asking yourself, that you're encountering. And it just feels to me as if your faith in people has been a little bit shaken. Okay. Once again, I'm seeing like, you know, it's exhausting being on a Virgo. It's exhausting mainly because you see everything and you do everything. And people take you for granted. They take advantage of the situation. They take you for granted knowing that you're always there, that you never shy from hard work. You never shy away from hard work. You also never mind getting your hands dirty. You do what needs to be done. So it can be very exhausting and it can feel a little bit lonely being a Virgo. You do a lot for other people, and yet the other people are the ones in the limelight, are the ones getting the recognition. This is the week where you are going to get the recognition that you deserve. Okay, this is the week where I feel like people will start to thank you, will start to see, will start to match your contributions. Okay, so there will be some events happening for this week where you're going to be in the limelight, and you don't crave the attention in the limelight just for, you know, the fame and fortune. I feel like you want to set an example. And I also feel like people are coming to that sense of awareness where they know you're not doing this just to get into the limelight. You're doing this because it needs to be done, because it's the right thing, and because this is what we're supposed to be doing, because it's why we're here. We don't want to tend to a dead garden. We don't want our plants to die, right? So we have to rearrange. We have to shuffle around. Yes, it is a lot of hard work. Nobody wants to do it, but it needs to be done. And that is how we should treat an entire situation. Do what needs to be done. Okay, rather than keeping scores about who's doing what and who's putting in, you know, who's putting in the effort. So I feel in a way it's like if you were dealing with other Virgos, you don't need to keep scores. But if you're dealing with other signs, it just feels like one person steps up and then the other person's all like, oh, you're doing the work, now I don't have to. So it's like it doesn't absolve the other person from doing the work as well. And it can feel very, very frustrating, right? Like reasoning or rationalizing that with another person so that they understand where you're coming from. Um, we do have a lot of recognition coming through in this spread. Okay, so your actions, your contributions are not going unnoticed. You have somebody that is kind of like living in your shadows, and they're emulating you, and they're going to look at you, and they're just going to be like, I want to be like that Virgo. So you're setting a really good example, or you're being a very positive role model for another person. And so sometimes we do things and we feel like we're not getting the thanks and the recognition for it. But I feel like there are always people watching. There will always be that sense of divine justice where, you know, maybe the unintended consequence is that somebody looks at what you're doing and they're just like, I'm going to be like that person. So you're changing hearts, like, you know, one person at a time. You're changing minds, one person at a time. So it doesn't feel to me like it's this extravagant, you know, rush of good karma coming back to roost, but it seems like it's happening little by little, and it's going to change the trajectory of everybody that's involved, like the mindset or the life trajectory or the choices that they're making in the future, little by little. The change is, it's like you have been on the forefront of this new wave of change, and you're getting the ball rolling. So, you know, like how if you're pushing a boulder, right? The first few initial pushes, it seems really, really, really difficult. It feels so heavy. But once it starts going, it's going to gain traction and momentum, and it's going to snowball and just, you know, get larger and bigger and bigger. Okay. And in general, just gain velocity. So I feel like it can feel like a daunting task pushing a boulder. But once things get going, it's going to be a lot easier. Okay. So trust in the process, and trust that one day you're going to get to the end of, you know, the light at the tunnel, and it's going to be all worth it. So one day you're going to have that clarity. One day you're going to have that sense of divine justice. And one day none of these things will matter because people will be emulating, you know, your behavior, and they will try to do the right thing. I do feel as well, there's a lot of communication here. Check your emails, really fast, time sensitive type of communication. You guys are really good timekeepers, and you're very good about, you know, marking your calendars, keeping track of start dates and due dates and end dates. But I feel like something's in the works that you have to respond to. And I feel like some of them could be like invitation. And, you know, somebody is just like all of a sudden thinking about you. They shoot you an email and they're like, do you want to go to this party, you know, tomorrow or tonight? So I feel like last minute communication for opportunities for fun, for excitement, for going out, for socializing, for reconnecting with people that you've been longing to hear from, but they're very time sensitive. Okay. So these are like unexpected communication coming through from people, and it's very fast. And, you know, there's like a short window of opportunity for you to respond. So check your emails, check your messages, make sure that if it takes, my rule of thumb when it comes to emails or communication in general, if it takes me less than 30 seconds to respond, I try to respond right then and there. If it takes me longer than a minute, then I, you know, don't respond to it until I have time. So that is something that I feel like, you know, you want to have a system to organize like what is worth responding to. And rather than just, you know, reading them or reading the emails or the text messages and then forgetting about them, because I feel like you have to respond in a time sensitive manner. I'm also seeing as well, for those who are single, there has been a past relationship you have left behind as well. And I feel like, you know, you're coming into a space where career is going really, really well. Like you don't have financial issues that I'm seeing in this spread. You don't have financial concerns. I see some of you are changing up your wardrobe, like getting things that are custom made, like getting suits, getting dresses, getting things that are made specifically for your body type, for your taste, or for your standards. Okay, like spending or having the disposable income in order to get like custom made clothes. That's saying a lot. And I feel like some of you are losing weight. You're taking your clothes in. Some of you are, I feel like, I don't see weight gain so much, but I feel like maybe you're going to the gym and so you're like filling out in all the right places. And so you're getting clothes that are a little bit more form fitting. Okay, to, you know, accentuates your best assets. So I definitely see a lot of new clothes, a lot of like reinventing yourself, getting haircut, getting hairdos, getting like a new color, hair color, changing just the way that you look. And maybe I see like you're doing this because you are putting yourself out there in the dating world, or you have recently landed a job where you're very visible in the public eye, so you have to look a certain way. So either way, it looks really good. Okay, so you're splurging, you have the disposable income to do so, and I feel like it's looking really good. Um, I'm also sensing as well. We have here the sun in the reverse position, and the sun it seems to me like shying away from the spotlight. Feeling a little bit like self-conscious as well, you know, not feeling completely confident, not feeling at our best, and not wanting to be on center stage. Like if you have to do presentations, if you have to give a speech, if you have to do something where you're in the public eye, I feel like you can appear a little bit stiff and a little bit just kind of robotic. And I feel like you guys are aware of this and you're actively working on it, okay, to make yourself a little bit more spontaneous. Like if you're in front of a crowd giving a speech, you want to know, like, what do I do with my hands? I don't want to just, you know, have my hands down by my side. It looks awkward. So you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're rehearsing things and you're trying to find ways to act natural. So yeah, you guys are trying to find ways to look natural, appear natural, or act natural. And it's gonna come. Rehearse it enough. Don't take things so seriously. Okay, just ease up a little bit. And I don't know how else to explain it, but I feel like, you know, repetition, rehearsing things will make the situation a lot better, will make it flow a lot better, and will make it appear a lot more natural. You guys are natural orators. Like you speak really well, and when you speak, you guys are experts in your field. So you don't, you know, go around and blab about things that you don't know anything about. Like you're actually very cautious about sending out the right information. You're cautious about how you come across. You're cautious about how you speak. And you want to make sure that you have all the information before you open your mouth. And I feel like a lot of the times, you don't appear confident enough. And so rehearsing things and, you know, letting things flow naturally. Don't rehearse it word for word. Group them into cause and effect. Group them into, you know, chronological order. So as long as you have an understanding of what comes first, what comes second, what comes third, then you would already know how to logically arrange and recall the information so that you don't have to, you know, remember or memorize something verbatim. So that process is going to help, okay? I feel here, let me see. I see a fire sign, so a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. This is somebody that could be a family member, could be a lover, could be an ex, okay? But I feel like they're kind of careless. They have the best intentions in the world, okay? They have the best intentions in the world, but they're kind of careless. I see somebody who's very clumsy, and they might fall, they might trip, they might injure themselves. I'm seeing like scraping their knees, bumping their like snubbing their toes. So they're very, very careless. And I feel like they're going to be around your space, or there's going to be a lot of interaction with this person, and they're quite comical. They're very careless. And I feel like Their communication is very clumsy. You're going to be getting a lot of communication from this person. I'm also seeing an air sign. So this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And this is somebody that they're very, very, very intelligent. But I also feel like they're definitely emotionally kind of stunted, emotionally unaware. They're a little bit emotionally underdeveloped or unaware, so they're not really conscious about how they come across to other people. They seem to me to be a little bit harsh, and I feel like there's a lot of communication between you and this person, and they're coming to you and they're asking you, hey, what's wrong with the way that I talk? Is there anything wrong with the way that I appear? Like they're asking you about, they're asking for you for your opinions about them, because they're facing a situation where they're not able to either make friends, or they're not able to maintain relationships, or they're not able to work with other people. That's what I'm sensing. So I feel like you're in a position where you're kind of shedding light on a situation, hence, moving that flower pot into the sun. You're shedding light into the situation. You're able to give advice, or you're able to shed light into for a person. You're able to shine a light for a person regarding a situation or a problem that they've had.